Is anyone out there co-parenting with someone in active addiction? And if so, how are you dealing with it emotionally, logistically? Because I'm going through it right now in real time. And I would love you to drop a comment below and let me know how you're dealing. Welcome to the Idiot Podcast, y'all. I just wanted to do a little two-camera catch-up on what is going on in my life. And it's a lot. It is a lot. I got my period today, which means I can now solve world hunger and regulate the economy and reorganize the garage and somehow forgive all my enemies before 10 p.m. My PMS is gone. I've entered my goddess era. Does anyone else feel just like they can overcome anything the second they start bleeding? It's very odd, very strange, but very real. No problem is feeling too big. And that is saying a lot right now because, like I said, my kid's father is currently documenting a very public drug relapse on social media. So before I hear shit from you guys saying like, don't talk about your personal shit. He made it very public. It is what it is. I'm getting fucking hounded by hundreds of people asking me if I'm okay, if my kids are okay, if my kids are safe, because all of this is out there on the internet. So it is what it is. And you know what? Hey, they say you're as sick as your secrets. And as someone who grew up in the Midwest, I believe that that's true. You know, that whole keep a stiff upper lip or act like everything's okay when it's not, that's also pretty toxic if you ask me. So that's what's going on. And I have a feeling there's a lot of people around the world dealing with this, having a co-parent who's in active addiction and how to navigate that whole dilemma. But somehow I feel like I can handle this. It's probably just where I'm at in my cycle. So yeah, I want to talk about it. Before we dive in, this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And honestly, I don't think there's a more fitting sponsor for this particular week. Because if I've ever needed therapy, it's now. Co-parenting with someone in active addiction is heartbreaking. It's confusing. It's chaotic. One minute you're having ice cream with your kids and their dad, and the next minute you're watching a video of him detoxing on Instagram. I've been in therapy for years, especially after going through my own recovery, and I've seen how powerful it is. But I also know therapy isn't always affordable or easy to fit into a busy life. And that's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp is online therapy that works around your schedule, your life, and your chaos. No driving, no waiting room, no worrying if you're going to cry in front of strangers. Spoiler, you are, and that's fine. They've got over 30,000 licensed therapists. Whatever you're going through, burnout, boundary issues, grief, parenting stress, relapse, codependency, they've got someone for that. And if you don't vibe with your therapist, you can switch at any time with no extra cost. You just go to betterhelp.com/idiot to get 10% off your first month. Again, that's betterhelp.com/idiot to get 10% off your first month. Y'all, I'm telling you, if you follow me, you need therapy. Yeah, this week's been absolutely insane. Last week, everything was seemingly amazing. Truly, I was like, oh my God, I'm starting to have a somewhat normal co-parenting relationship. My kids are killing it. I'm getting along with their dad. We're tag teaming. He's picking up Poppy from school. We're all going out having ice cream. It's feeling good. It's feeling functional. And I just feel like, wow, everything is good. Even in his life, he's getting some music opportunities that are really exciting. And I feel like I'm getting some opportunities with my podcast and making progress on my book. It's just life is feeling good. And then I open up Instagram 3 days ago to a video of him talking about how he's in active addiction and he's using and he's documenting the whole thing. And my heart is broken. And I feel so stupid and I feel so angry because you were just picking up our kids from school, and we just had ice cream and things were good and normal. And you took her to gymnastics, and what the fuck is this? And why not call me? Why not call me and say, hey, I've made the decision to use again. I'm going to buy drugs and consume a lot of them to make my album. Just wanted to let you know. No, you don't tell me, you tell the entire world. So once again, I've got to find out through opening my phone. And then the hundreds of messages start pouring. And are you okay? Are you safe? Are your kids okay? Are they safe? You know? And it's like they say, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. And look, this is not a bash of my ex. I still love my ex. I also view addiction as a cunning, baffling, powerful, and progressive disease. So I don't think he's evil or bad. I think he's sick right now. But it still doesn't change the feeling that I have of betrayal. I can't trust him. It breaks my fucking heart. And he's a really good dad when he's clean. Now, I called him right after I opened up the internet and saw the video of him, you know, fucking using drugs. And I said, hey, I just saw on the internet that you're using it. Oh, yeah, I've been in a relapse. Now I'm just, publicizing it. Okay, what about last week? What about when you were taking the kids? No, he said, I never use around the kids. I never use around the kids. That's one thing. I'll never use around the kids. I'll never drive if I'm on something. He swears up and down. But how am I supposed to believe anything you say when you continue to lie to me? And so, yeah, that's what's fucking happening right now. That's what's going on. I said, this is a powerful disease and it's really hard to do it alone. I know that because I'm a recovering addict. I'll have 13 years, God willing, October 29th. Sorry, I'll have 14 years. 14 years. Wow. That's absolutely insane. But one day at a time, and there's no fucking way I could have done it alone. There's absolutely no way. So I asked him if he would go to medically detox. Nope. I do not believe in doctors. I don't trust them. I said, well, medically detox, no. Rehab, no. He said, I will get off of them while my parents are coming to town. Thank God. His parents are flying in from London for their very last trip because they're getting older. His mom has MS. It's very difficult to travel. And so it's their last trip to spend time with the grandkids. And he's staying a mile down the road in Steven's house. They're staying a mile down the road in Steven's house for a month. And he is quite close with them. And I believe he will not use around them. So he has expressed to me that he's going to stop for a month and then start again. That's insane. And it's not just me saying, hey, you've got kids and you could die. And this is a really dangerous experiment that you're doing. It's the internet is telling him too, because he's made it public. So again, this is not me breaking fucking anonymity. This is just what's happening publicly. And am I shocked, dude? Do you not remember 3 years ago? Like, I had to do the same shit and address all this when he publicized his last breakdown. So it is what it is. You gotta laugh, right? Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, my friend said to me, she goes, one way to handle trauma is just view your life as a movie. And this is just a great scene. It's terrifying and horrific and just so sad and unfortunate, but a great scene. And if you can just find the entertainment in the disturbing aspects of your life, it'll make it just a little more tolerable. She's like, we go see dramas all the time. We watch documentaries on, serial killers, and we're able to like enjoy them. So she's like, can you do that with your own life? I just feel like a fucking idiot because once again, I didn't know. I did not know. I did not know. It was like he had admitted the relapse, whatever it was, 6 months, 8 months ago. He had admitted relapse and started going to meetings every day. And I just was under this impression that that was still happening. So I think his parents coming into town is a God shot. Like in the rooms in recovery, we call things that feel like a big or too good to be a coincidence a God shot. It's almost serendipitous. But the timing of his parents coming in and staying with him for the very month that he maybe needs it most, I'm just really grateful for that. I went over to his house yesterday morning to make sure he was alive because he's refusing to medically detox or go to rehab. And again, you can see all this online. So, and it was really sad. And I just held him and we cried and we cried. And I begged him to stop, and he's made up his mind. And I expressed that the kids would be living with me. And if he wanted to see him, it would be supervised and with me there present to visit them. And he said, I understand. I understand. There was no fighting. There was no any of that. And it's sad because, I just have a lot of empathy for addicts because I'm a recovering addict. So I know it's not that simple sometimes. And they say it's cunning and baffling and powerful because it is. And it's progressive. And right now the story is, my icons, David Bowie, Miles Davis, they were all on heroin when they made their albums. So me too. Well, you could die, dude. No, I got a fentanyl tester right here. I'm good. Okay. So what do I need? I need Al-Anon. I need to focus on myself. And I actually wanted to read some of the principles of Al-Anon. Let me pull them up right now. Because I'm not like so familiar with with Al-Anon. I'm in the other program, the other 12-step program. But if you have a friend or a family member if you have a friend or family member who is in active addiction, there's a program that can help. That's free. It's free support. And I got to say, for me, I talked about this on an Instagram video actually just recently, that I have this home group of women that I go to every single week. And there's a few 30-something women, but the majority of them are 60 plus. And I say, it is the best thing in the entire world. It's like my best kept secret. And intergenerational friendships are incredible. You going through divorce, they've been through one. They've probably been through 3, and they've come out the other end. Raising children, they know all the hacks, They can spot a red flag from a mile away, even with glaucoma. They're fucking amazing. I've got 82-year-old besties in there, and we talk shit and they give me solutions. And man, they're just, they're there for me, and I learn so much from them. And we just sit around this table in this old beat up church, and we just listen to each other. Someone shares up top for like 10 minutes on a topic, whether it's courage or surrender or acceptance or, battling demons, whatever it is. They share on a topic, and then we all share for 3 minutes each around, and we just deeply listen to each other and share vulnerably and honestly. And it's honestly saved my life. I got to say, I can't use anymore. I can't drink anymore. So for me, finding, especially women who I can trust and lean on. Having a big support system is huge. I need to do that maybe with this other program, this Al-Anon program that helps you navigate co-parenting with an active addict. So some of the principles here say, or just like talking points here say, you didn't cause it, you can't control it, and you can't cure it. I think that's interesting to just say out loud because, man, I have so many times felt like, well, if I didn't walk away, if I didn't separate, he wouldn't be on drugs. It's me. It's my fault. I have said that narrative over and over to myself. But then if I really look back, the reason I walked away was because he was using. I didn't know at the time. I just thought he was an asshole and he stopped loving me. But come to find out, he was in active addiction. So that makes sense. And that is why I walked away, because it wasn't safe for me or the kids. And I never stopped loving him. So it wasn't about that. I didn't want to give up. I needed to protect myself and the kids. And I didn't cause it, and I can't control it, and I can't cure it. They also teach you in Al-Anon to focus on your lane, your kids, your life. Okay, my lane, my kids, my life. Stay in my lane. They also talk about detaching with love, which again, it's like you can still love them from a distance, but not enable. I'm sure you guys know this. Maybe you don't. But okay, and then it says here's what not to do. Don't chase. Don't argue with someone in active addiction. Don't try and reason with chaos. And then what to do? Yeah, focus on your kids, on yourself, find a support system, pray, journal, meditate, go to therapy, stay grounded in your reality. So I remember years ago when he had a relapse a few years into our marriage. And yeah, I kind of discovered an affair and a relapse. And so I found myself going to Al-Anon and leaning on the support group of women and just keeping the focus on myself and doing what I had to do to stay safe. So it's like, yeah, I've done it before. I can do it again. I guess it just makes it a little trickier when you have kids in the mix. And it's really fucking sad to me because, again, he's such a good dad, especially when he's clean. He's so loving. He adores them. And we have so much fun together. And yeah, my heart just breaks for them, for the kids. Like even, yeah, over the weekend, like you're supposed to have them on Saturday. And it's like, no, you're not seeing the kids, you're on drugs. You're not seeing the kids. And they ask for daddy, and it's like, no, we're not doing daddy's house this weekend. He's busy, and I just made it a really fun weekend. I invited friends over and, they're young enough to where they're not asking too many questions or anything like that. And, yeah, it's just a shame. And I went over there yesterday thinking I can save him, and he just has his mind made. And he's like, I won't die for Poppy and Alfie. I would never die, from this for them. Okay, well, you're taking this weird combination of drugs, probably an insane amount. So how can you know that? He's just playing with fire. Okay, but here's what I can do though. I can get into radical acceptance and I don't have to love the reality of what is, but I could accept the reality of what is. And this is the reality. And guess what? I'm in good health. My kids are in good health. I've got good friends. I've got a good support system. They're incredibly loved, even by their father who is sick. And I would never say a bad word about their father to them. And again, I have so much love and compassion for him and what he's going through because he's sick. But this is where I need to lovingly detach and do what I have to do to keep me and the kids safe. On a lighter note, Poppy's birthday was last week and it was so much fun. It was amazing. We went to this play gym called We Rock the Spectrum. It's amazing. It's for neurodivergent kids primarily, but anyone can go. And so I take them there because of my son who's on the spectrum. And there's like a sign on the wall that says, the only place you can go where you don't have to say, I'm sorry. Which if you're a mom or dad with a kid on the spectrum, you get it, right? You're just apologizing because he knocked over someone's smoothie at a restaurant because the straw made a weird noise, or he's, screaming or flapping or whatever the fuck that upsets people, or stimming out in public. I don't know. And you don't have to apologize for that. But I think sometimes you feel like you do, or they say, oh, what's your name? And he just doesn't answer and walks away. Oh, sorry. Although my daughter goes, he's not going to tell you because he's autistic. She just tells people that. It's really funny. Anyway, there's this play gym that's awesome, and it's like for sensory seekers, and it's great. And Poppy said, I want my birthday there at We Rock the Spectrum. That's where I want my birthday. I said, done. And so I left the gym open so like any kids could come, because there have been so many weekends where we would go, me, Poppy, and Alfie would go to this play gym. And they would be so excited. And we get there and it's a private party. And I go, oh man. And Alfie's taking off his shoes, getting ready to go on the trampoline or like go on the crazy swings. And the grandma would come up and go, hey, just come in. It's fine. Cause like the receptionist would be like, you got to go. It's a private party. And grandma would come up and go, hey, just come in. It's okay. And I've had that happen like a few times. So I told them, I go, we're keeping the gym open, because there have been so many times where like that gym will save me. It'll give me like 4 hours where they can just move around and I can breathe, even though I end up in the fucking trampoline with them, which if you've had children and you go on a trampoline, you piss yourself. Not entirely. It's just a drop, just drops. Your pelvic floor is like, fuck you, Laura. But whatever. So anyway, it was awesome. Steven got Ariel from The Little Mermaid to come. She sang Part of Your World. I cried. Poppy didn't. It was amazing. She was so good. It was just the best birthday party, other than Poppy looking at my boyfriend and Steven, who were in the same room. And then she turns to my boyfriend and goes, my dad doesn't like you. My dad doesn't like you. Did you know my dad doesn't like you? Poppy, do you have to say it 3 times? And Steven just kind of went, oh, so Poppy, stop it. And then boyfriend went, oh, that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. So that was really awkward. But other than that, it was such a great, amazing day. All her friends from preschool and gymnastics came. It was so fun. And then I had some people over after, and we continued the party, and it was just swimming and sugar and dancing and fun. And yeah, I had no idea what was to come just a few days later. All right, guys. Again, if you've been through this, having a co-parent or a loved one in active addiction, what were your most effective tools on how to handle the situation? I would love to hear your thoughts, your stories. Please drop them in the comments below. Unfortunately, addiction is an epidemic in our country. And I just think if we all can love and support each other, it will make it a little bit easier. Thank you all for watching or listening. And until next Wednesday, sending you all the love and happiness and health in the world. Okay, I'm going to go jump on a trampoline and pee myself.